Hey, it's me, Narrative, and my first initial thoughts on the Transformers 1 trailer were negative. Wait up! Before you fire up your pitchforks, I did say initial. After watching the trailer again and letting my thoughts settle for a bit, I readjusted my expectations. You see, before the trailer premiered, I read somewhere on Twitter of all places that the vibe of the movie would be like the War of Cybertron or Fall of Cybertron games, which I was all in for. But we often forget that the target demographic of the Transformers is first and foremost children and general audiences. That's not to say that Transformers can't be mature or tell smart stories, far from it. It's just that we have to bear in mind that most people view animation as something for kids, and until that stigma goes away completely, you're kind of stuck with a product that's in between child-friendly and mature, which is fine since that's the point of growth where most Transformers fans stay in anyways. The trailer opens with a conversation between Orion and D16, who I'll be calling Megatron from here on out for simplicity's sake. It's a surprisingly civil and calm scene which I'm willing to bet will be their first interaction with each other. It's likely that the two were protesting against Cybertron's current case system of not allowing lower members of society access to T-Cogs or the transformation matrix that allows Transformers to convert. As a punishment, they'll be sent down to the trash department of the planet where they'll meet
Badassatron. We're gonna call you B.
I'm going to be completely blunt here. I think B-127 or Bumblebee might be my least favorite out of the cast. Now, don't get me wrong, it's nice to have a Bumblebee with a voice and a much more defined personality. I just wish that it wasn't so comic reliefy. Also, is it just me or does this Bumblebee not match up at all with the Bumblebee from the 2018 film? Are these films even connected at all? Hey, it's me, Narrative from the future. Turns out Transformers 1 film might not be connected to the film franchise, which is okay. It might be a standalone franchise now. Anyways, back to the video. The vibe I got from this Bumblebee was that he was a scout who, while can make a few jokes in combat, was definitely more battle-hardened, as though he's lived most of his life in conflict. While this Bumblebee feels like he's just a normal Cybertronian who's had his head down in the garbage. Personally, I wished Bumblebee wasn't a part of the main cast in this movie. Like, I would have loved a cameo from him near the end of the movie, where he's one of the first Cybertronians to be rescued by Optimus Prime or something. This just feels kind of off. I also kind of wish that they got Dylan O'Brien back for Bumblebee. Keegan-Michael Key just feels like a bit of a miscast. Moving on, the trailer itself kind of showed off way too much. Like, I definitely didn't need to see this much of Cybertron. Would have preferred it if some references stayed a bit more hidden, like the fact that Alpha Trion turns into this weird rhinoceros creature, although Hasbro themselves already spoiled it. And the presence of the Quintessons and Sentinel Prime probably should have been a surprise reveal, or at least revealed in maybe the second or final trailer. Nonetheless, the trailer offers us a look at a colorful and vibrant Cybertron, which I am a big fan of. Like, if this and the Bumblebee movie are connected, then most viewers will feel the weight that Optimus feels after losing their home world. The contrast between how it looked then into how it looks now will make the audience question how the hell these guys fumbled it up so badly. And if there's one thing that I love about this trailer is that they don't show too much of the war outside of these brief snippets of combat. Although I am a bit scared that much of the screen time will be used up in the quest for Alpha Trion rather than the build up to the war. Oh well, at least Alpha Trion's cave looks like a treasure trove of references and gives us some details on the fractured history of Cybertron. On that note, I love how Alpha Trion looks in this trailer, especially how well he contrasts with the natural flora and fauna of his cave. And unlike the main cast, he doesn't suffer from the same face syndrome. Yeah, that's right, I'm not the biggest fan of how these guys look. I mean, just a brief glimpse at the poster and you can see that these characters' faces just feel copy and pasted. And a ton of the side characters also share the same face. Ugh. I cannot wait until Orion gets his face mask. Back on some good news, hey look, it's Steve! Yeah! Besides the main characters and a few of the side characters, some designs remain untouched, like the Decepticon trio of Soundwave, Shockwave, and Starscream. Shockwave looks a bit too much like his Cyberverse counterpart, while Soundwave is 90% leg for some reason. And Starscream, oh, oh my! I'm not into robots. I'm not. Don't look up into my search history. Oh hey, look, it's Arachnid. No, stop touching my search history. These shots go by so fast that you miss a few characters hidden away. Although TF Hype Guy from Twitter did catch a few characters that were interesting. Give him a follow if you want more details. In these scenes, we can also see Bumblebee getting his battle mask, a pretty good reference to his G1 figure, though I have to say it looks way too similar to other things. I have to say that as nice of a reference as it may be, I again prefer the Bumblebee live action battle mask. Oh well, at least I prefer this look over the same face syndrome. Now let's talk about the cast. Chris Hemsworth as Orion Pax or Optimus Prime was, to be honest, a bit of a letdown when I first heard the casting. But hearing him now in this trailer, wow, he was good. Like, seriously good. I did see on Twitter that he and Peter Cullen actually worked together to get the voice right. A younger and softer tone but still remaining the cadence and the growl associated with Optimus Prime.
We stand here together as one.
I personally blame Thor Love and Thunder for ruining my view of Chris Hemsworth, and I'm glad he's doing a great job here. Brian Henry as Megatron is, I don't know, I just don't feel it yet. Maybe it's because I'm so used to an evil Megatron that I never envisioned how he might have sounded like before the war. Rory McCain from Earthspark was my first exposure to an actual good guy Megatron, so I may be a bit biased. Still, I'm not sure whether it's a problem with the voice acting or just the material in general. I'd wait until the final product before giving my verdict on this one.
If we survive this, I'm gonna kill you! I accept those terms.
Scarlett Johansson as elita-one was okay.
Powers for a reason. Let's use them.
Sorry, the trailer just didn't show her off that much. Although the action scenes look to be the main highlight of the movie, I especially like this scene where Orion uses his boosters as blasters. Dual-purpose weapons are tight. Speaking of vehicle modes, I kind of want Megatron to be a triple changer, like the Studio Series concept depicts, but I'm not holding my breath. Going back to elita-one, she kind of gives me Tiger Mom vibes, which would pair well with the Papa Bear vibes I'm getting from Orion. I already shared my piece with Bumblebee. I literally wish he was some other character, maybe a certain deceased Autobot? Come on! If Skybound could do it, I'm willing to bet anyone could. Overall, despite my misgivings, I'm optimistic. Pun fully intended, as it's far too early to say if this movie will be horrible. It's such a breath of fresh air for the Transformers movie franchise, a franchise that has kept doing the same thing over and over again for the last few years. The situation kind of reminds me of how Spider-Verse was for the Sonyverse initiative, where everyone was skeptical and now it's probably the only thing holding up the Sony film franchise. Funnily enough, I feel like the core theme of this movie will be about transformation, with each key character physically changing to reflect their growth. Just seeing that on screen would make my neurons flare, since it'd be so satisfying. It'd be like how Kamen Riders get a power-up after going through a character arc. Don't blame me, they literally get a power-up from a mentor figure. The Transformers movie franchise is in a much better state than it was years prior. But I do think that this movie may very well define the future of the Transformers. So fingers crossed for this one, dear viewers. And hope that this movie may be
More than meets the eye.
But that's all from me. And what did you think of this trailer? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.